Students, this is K.S. Praneet Chaudhary from the Department of Computer Science of SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. Yesterday we have studied about the topics that were in programming with Python, and today we are going to discuss about the topic Introduction to Python, which is in the first unit of the syllabus. So, Python programming is a general purpose language which can be interpreted, which is interactive, and which is an object oriented programming language and also a high level programming language. This Python program was developed by Guido van Rossum during the years 1985 to 1990. Now, the Python programming can be interpreted. That means here we can see that Python program can be processed during runtime by the interpreter. So here we need not compile our program before executing it. So as you are aware of C language, in C language we type a program in one prompt, then we check our errors, then we get our output. There are three different ways, but here Python is processed during the runtime itself. So no need to compile the program for checking the errors. While typing we get all the errors, and immediately after the program is completed we get the output. Now Python is an interactive programming. So here we can actually simply sit at a Python prompt and interact with the interpreter directly to write our programs. This means that no one is necessary for us to make us to learn Python program, because the prompt itself is very interactive. We can easily learn from the Python prompt. The next thing is Python is object oriented programming. It means it has a technique of programming that encapsulates the code with the objects. This was learnt in Java programming, and Python is said to be a beginner's language because it is a great language for the beginner level programmers and supports the development of wide range of applications. Here Python processes the simple text, and it also can be used in the web browsers. Even games can also be designed using the Python programming. So as we have learned in our previous class, do not learn Python only to pass the examination. Python has to be learned in order to gain a good software job in the software companies. Now we are going to study about the features of Python. There are various features of Python, and now we are going to discuss about the different features of Python. Python is a language which is very easy to learn because it has some keywords, a simple structure of program, and an easy syntax. So student can easily pick up the language where he can easily learn Python. The next feature of Python is this is very easy to read. Python code is very clear to the eyes because it has different colors where each color indicates the each syntax of the program. And the next thing here is Python is easy to maintain because Python's source code is very fair. So the next feature about Python is Python has a broad library. So this library is not only compatible on Unix, it is also compatible on Windows, Macintosh, and also Android also supports Python programming. The next feature of Python is an interactive mode program because Python has a support which allows interactive testing and debugging of snippets of code. Whenever we are doing the program itself, it interacts us saying that this is different from the syntax. This is not included in the syntax. This is not in the syntax. So it goes on prompting while we type the Python program. And the next thing is Python program is very portable. It can run on a big computer and it can also has a wide variety of hardware platforms and has the same interface on all platforms. So even you work with Python on a big computer or even you work with Python on a small laptop or your mobile phone, it gives you the same experience. The next thing is Python program is an extendable program. Here we can add low level modules to the Python interpreter, and these modules enable the programmers to customize their tools to be more efficient. And Python supports GUI programming, that is graphical user interface programming. So Python applications along with GUI can be created and can be imported to many system calls, libraries and windows such as Windows MFC, Macintosh and the X Window system of Linux. So here the last two features about Python programming is Python provides interfaces to all major commercial databases. So we know about database where data is stored in the form of a relational database. So here Python can interface with all those databases. And the last feature is Python is scalable. Scalable means it provides a better structure and support for large programs than shell scripting. So these are the features of Python programming. Not only these features, Python has some additional features. So let us study about those additional features. Python supports functional and structured programming methods as well as object oriented programming. So before Python, all the programs were either functional or structured programming. But here Python supports functional programming, structured programming and as well as object oriented programming. And the next additional feature is Python program can be used as a scripting language or can be compiled to bytecode for building large applications. Python is not only for small programming but it is also for large applications. The next thing is Python program provides very high level dynamic data types and supports dynamic type checking. It supports automatic garbage collection and it can be easily integrated with C, C++, COM, ActiveX, Corba and Java. So these are the additional features of Python. Now we are going to study about the Identifiers that are in Python. As we have studied in our previous syllabus, an identifier is a name that is used to identify a variable or a function or a class or a module or any other object. Example, x is equal to 5. The value is 5, but the value of 5 is given to the variable x. So whenever you study about x in that program, or wherever you write x in that program, x represents 5 there. So that is called as an identifier. So an identifier is nothing but it is a name used to identify a variable, function, class, module or other object. Simply remember that in your college you are going to be identified with your hall ticket number. That is called your identifier, but you have a name. But in the college you are identified with a particular hall ticket number, whereas in your intermediate you were identified with your other hall ticket number. So in each program identifier changes. So here in Python programming we see that an identifier starts with alphabets, either capital letters or small letters, or underscore can be included in those identifier name, and 0 to 9 digits are also can be included in Python identifiers. So here Python identifier may be alphabets, may be numbers, may be capital letters, may be small letters, and only special character allowed in Python identifier is an underscore. Here remember that Python does not allow special characters such as @ dollar symbol and percentage symbol within identifiers. Remember that we are studying only about the topic identifiers. Only while writing identifiers we should remember that we have to use only underscore but not any other symbols. In other places we can, in Python programming, in other places we can use all the special symbols, but only while identifiers we should use only the underscore symbol. And the last thing about identifiers is Python is a case sensitive programming language. Case sensitive means it always allows small case or either capital case. Case sensitive is writing the program in exact format. When it is given P as capital letter, we should write P as capital letter. When all the letters are small, we should write the small letters. So Python is a case sensitive programming language. Now we are going to study about the keywords in Python. The keywords in Python, here again identifier is a name given to a variable, whereas keywords are the reserved word in Python. C language has some reserved words: printf, scanf, getch, string len. These are some reserved words, but here keywords are same as the C language, but the words are different. So we cannot use a keyword as a variable name. So keyword cannot be used for an identifier. So as you are seeing on the screen, there are different Python keywords which are given below. And is a keyword, as, assert, break, class, continue, def, del, elif, else, except, exec, finally, for, from, global, if, import, in, is, lambda, not, or, pass, print, raise, return, try, while, with, yield. Here there are the keywords that I have read now. At least you have to be thorough with 10 keywords of Python. Now the lines and indentation. How do we write a Python program in the Python prompt? Are there any things that are to be remembered while writing Python programming? Now we are going to study about this. So Python provides no braces. C language starts with braces before the main function and ends with a braces at the end of the program, whereas Python program does not have any braces to indicate blocks of code. There, if else, if is there, we have to give a block for it. If else, we have to give a block. So here in Python programming, there is no need of giving blocks, braces for blocks. Now blocks of code are denoted by line indentation. So when we align a certain lines in the same line, then that is said to be a block. No need of giving a particular braces for a block. So line indentation is the very important thing in writing a Python program. So the number of braces in the indentation is variable, but all statements within a block must be indented the same amount. When you are going to write a block, remember that all the block that you are going to write should be in a same alignment, so that the Python editor treats it as a block. Now comments in Python. Comments in Python, you can remember the documentation section in C language. Documentation section in C language is given with slash star and star slash at the end of the program or anywhere in the program. That does not affect the code of the program. So it is just for the user itself to make him known what is going to write and what is the code that has been written there. So here in Python also we see that there are comments in Python, and the comments in Python are represented by the hash symbol. So that is not inside a string literal, and all the characters after the hash and up to the end of the physical line are part of the comment. So only at the starting of the line there should be a hash symbol for representing a comment in Python. This is called as the documentation part, meant only for the user but does not affect the programming code. Now the next thing in Python introduction is the standard data types in Python. So we have learned about an identifier, we have learned about the keywords, and we are going to learn about the data types in Python. So before going to learn about the data types in Python, just let us review about what is a data type. The data stored in a memory can be of many types. So remember that you have a name, you have a date of birth, and you have a mobile number. So the date has a specific format, your mobile number has a specific format, the marks you acquired in your intermediate has a specific format. So each of them are different in data types, even though they are numbers. So when you are going to write your house address, then house address contains letters, special symbols as well as numbers. So that is a different data type. So for each data stored in the memory, it should have a specific format for storing the data. That is called as the data type. So now Python has the standard data types that are used to define the operations possible on them and the storage method for each of them. So each value or each variable has a specific format, whereas it will be stored in the data type of the database. Now for tomorrow's class, we are going to study about the data types, standard data types in Python. So for today's class, remember that the features of Python are to be remembered, then the keywords in Python, the identifiers in Python, and the definition for database data type is also to be remembered for tomorrow's class. Thank you for your silent listening.